Have you ever watched a show just at the right age that really embodies the energy of being youthful? When I was 14, I came across Katekyo Hitman Reborn after playing as Tsuna in the Nintendo DS game Jump Ultimate Stars. I wanted to know more about this character called Tsuna, particularly why he felt compelled to run around in his underwear while fighting. Little did I know that I would stumble upon a unique, charming and comedic series which would go on to have many memorable and emotional moments. Hitman Reborn parodies the Italian mafia and incorporates this mafia concept into a very comedic story. Beginning as a comedic gag manga, the story of Hitman Reborn develops into a unique battle shonen. Hitman Reborn tells us a story about a no-good student who lacks self-confidence and has no real friends. This coming-of-age story is unlike any that you will have experienced up until now. Let's look back at Hitman Reborn and try to understand what makes it an underrated series that deserves more attention. The Hitman Reborn manga is written by Akira Amano. It was published in Weekly Jump magazine from the 24th of May 2004 until the 12th of November 2012. The manga chapters have been compiled into 42 volumes. An anime series based upon the original manga began airing on the 7th of October 2006 and concluded on the 25th of September 2010, totaling 203 episodes. The story of Hitman Reborn revolves around the most powerful mafia family in Italy called the Vongola family. The current 9th head of the Vongola family is an old man who is ready for retirement. However, before he can step down, he requires a worthy 10th successor to the Vongola family. The 9th head enlists the help of a professional hitman to train and prepare the next head of the family. It is here that we are introduced to our protagonist Sawada Tsunayoshi, or Tsuna for short. He is a Japanese teenage boy attending middle school. Tsuna consistently gets poor grades, which earns him the nickname No Good Tsuna. He is very cowardly, he doubts himself regularly, often behaving like a wimp. He seems to have a string of bad luck, and he is not at all athletic. Tsuna totally admits that he has all of these faults. When the going gets tough, Tsuna quits. He does not take well to difficult tasks, and he lacks any form of self-discipline. Tsuna is the definition of a loser. This all changes, however, when he is introduced to a 2-year-old baby named Reborn, who becomes Tsuna's home tutor. The professional hitman sent by the 9th head of the Vongola family is none other than an infant, and it is here that you learn that no good Tsuna is destined to become the 10th head of the Vongola family. Reborn introduces himself to Tsuna as a home tutor to help him with his studies and the other areas of his life that he seems to lack making any progress in. Reborn, who has dedicated his life to the Italian mafia, has sworn to train Tsuna well by keeping his word to the 9th head of Vongola. Reborn states to Tsuna that he is destined to become the successor to the Vongola family, and he needs to be prepared to take up the position as a mafia boss. Tsuna immediately declines the offer of becoming the heir to the Vongola family, and he does so repeatedly during the series. He disagrees with the violent history of the mafia and refuses to accept that he is going to become a mafia boss. Tsuna is grateful, however, for the friends that he is introduced to as a result of Reborn entering into his life. The friendships that he forms become family members for Tsuna, and he develops a deep sense of care for this new family. As the series progresses, Tsuna goes out of his way readily in the face of danger to protect his Vongola family members. Reborn changes Tsuna's life for the better. He helps Tsuna with his studies, gradually improving his grades and helping him to find the powers within himself to save his friends during desperate situations. Reborn helps Tsuna through utilizing the powers of the Dying Will Bullet. The Dying Will Bullet is a special weapon developed by the Vongola family. When this bullet comes into contact with a person, they die. However, if the individual who is shot feels regret upon the moment of impact, then they are reborn with a flame on their forehead. Whilst in this state, the individual loses their clothes besides their underwear and can accomplish impossible feats, but with a time limit of 5 minutes before they reassume their normal state. The Dying Will Bullet turns off the safety switches of an individual, and in return they are able to harness great power and strength through the regret that they experience when they are shot. This state of being is called the Dying Will mode, which Tsuna later learns to control and maintain for longer than 5 minutes. Hitman Reborn has a great cast of characters that form friendships with Tsuna during the progression of the show. The characters have a likable charm and have very strong personalities. The powers that these characters utilize find their foundations within the personalities of the characters. This makes each power or ability feel creative and specific to that character. Tsuna is in need of guardians if he is to become Vongola Decimo. These guardians are required to fill the following guardian positions: Storm, Rain, Sun, Lightning, Cloud, and lastly Mist. Each of Tsuna's guardians are introduced to us during the first arc of the anime, Tsuna's team was unofficially formed during this first arc. Although Tsuna has no say in the choice of the members, Reborn is thought to have been responsible for forming the Guardians for the 10th generation Vongola family. Let's look at the characters who become Tsuna's family by acting as his guardians. I want to explain what makes each guardian feel unique and worthy of their respective titles. Beginning with my favorite Vongola guardian in the series, Hayato Kokudera, who takes on the title of the Storm Guardian. He serves as Tsuna's right-hand man, willing to lay his life on the line for his boss. He is incredibly loyal and committed to his Italian mafia roots. Kokudera is hot-headed, rebellious, and tends to be annoyed by anyone who isn't Tsuna or Reborn. He is very intelligent despite his delinquent appearance. He finds schoolwork and exams to be very easy, unlike Tsuna who struggles. Kokudera takes his responsibility as Tsuna's right-hand man very seriously. He has offered to follow Tsuna to the ends of the earth and will give his life for his boss. The Rain Guardian, Takeshi Yamamoto, has a cheerful and friendly personality. Yamamoto has a similar academic ability to Tsuna, due to his focus being on baseball, as he has found success playing for the school baseball team. Yamamoto also helps his father with their family-run sushi restaurant, and he wields a katana as he is taught the Shigure Soin Ryu style of swordsmanship by his father at their family dojo. Yamamoto is not a selfish character. He has sacrificed what is important to him on several occasions during the show to save his friends from danger. He always maintains a happy-go-lucky exterior, but on the rare occasion when he is angry, it is only when his friends or family have been harmed. Yamamoto treats everything like a game. Due to his love for sports, this stretches even to the way that he treats the Vongola family. He believes that it is some sort of mafia role-playing game. The Sun Guardian, Sasagawa Ryohei, is obsessed with boxing. He lives his life to the extreme. He demonstrates this way of life by looking at any weaknesses as an area of improvement to develop his fighting skills. He is very enthusiastic and is often excited by Tsuna and his friends when they are involved in a battle. He too, like the other Guardians, is loyal to his friends. He is willing to protect them without hesitation. Due to his excellent boxing ability, he has great strength. He combines this with his extreme spirit to fight against opponents. When he fights, he is in a similar state to Tsuna's dying will mode due to his extreme nature. Because of this, the dying will bullet is ineffective against him. The position of Lightning Guardian is taken up by the annoying 5-year-old hitman, Lambo. He is a cowardly child who initially comes to Japan to kill Reborn. Due to his spoiled, overly annoying and stupid nature, he fails at almost everything that he attempts. Being the youngest member of the Vongola family, he is often looked after by the other members, except for Reborn and Kokudera, who find him to be too intolerable. He cries over small things. We often see him picking his nose and getting into trouble consistently. Lambo possesses a 10-year bazooka, which switches the individual using it with their own self from 10 years in the future. The effects of the bazooka only last for 5 minutes. In those seldom 5 minutes, we see the only glimpses of anything cool from Lambo when he switches to his 15-year-old self. The Cloud Guardian, Kyoya Hibari, is a member of the middle school disciplinary committee. He doesn't really care about the well-being of others, and he prefers to do whatever he wants as long as it benefits himself. Hibari has confidence in his own strength and power, but he attacks without thinking, which ends up becoming his shortfall. As the leader of the school disciplinary committee, he uses his position to assault others that get on his nerves. He is often referred to as being scary by the other characters in the series. Hibari prefers to be alone, and he dislikes working with others, as it makes him feel like he's being held back. He takes his position as the leader of the disciplinary committee seriously, often punishing other students for breaking the rules. Lastly, the position of the Vongola Mist Guardian is split between the two characters of Mukuro Rokudo and his vessel Chrome Dokuro. Mukuro Rokudo is the first antagonist of the series. He is arrogant and apathetic towards others. However, he is caring towards his subordinates. Mukuro Rokudo was chosen as the Mist Guardian while he was possessing the body of Chrome. Mukuro, now being in prison, controls the body of Chrome to get his motivations across to the others. Mukuro and Chrome have a connection which is built when Chrome experiences a car accident, which leaves her hospitalized with several failing organs and a lost eye. Mukuro helps her by creating illusionary organs for her so that she can continue to live. In exchange, he possesses her to fight strong opponents. The final character I want to mention is the one that the show is named after, Reborn. Despite not being the main character, the show would not be the same without him. He really is the most lovable character in this series. He has the largest influence to the individuals in this series. Reborn does not think about himself. He always looks out for the best interest of others. There is a mystery attached to him also, as you wonder throughout the series how such an experienced individual can know so much despite being only a baby. You assume that there is some sort of a tragic event attached to Reborn, which has resulted in him assuming assuming the body of a baby. This later is confirmed as you learn that he is cursed. The adult version of Reborn is teased during the show, and the mystery relating to his character has always been a huge draw for me, and probably the reason why I kept watching the show. The things that Reborn does are crazy, but if it wasn't for Reborn pushing Tsuna out of his comfort zone, then Tsuna would not have formed the friendships that he ends up making. Reborn's purpose is to teach Tsuna to become a strong mafia boss. His loyalty to the Vongola family helps him to form an instant connection with Tsuna, and they make a really great student and teacher duo. Hitman Reborn is split up into 6 story arcs. The first 4 are adapted into the 203 episode anime series, and the final 2 arcs, the Inheritance Ceremony arc and the Curse of the Rainbow arc, are manga only story arcs. Reborn begins as a gag manga and follows this formula for the first arc. The series retains many of its comedic elements as it slowly transforms into a battle series. The general consensus is that the series picks up and gets good during the Varia arc. The first arc primarily introduces us to the cast of likable characters, while the second arc practices its first attempt at a darker tonal shift in the show. The first 19 episodes are light-hearted comedy, but after that the anime begins the Kokyo arc with episode 20. This story arc has several interesting moments, as well as having a darker, more serious tone. The third story arc, the Varia arc, is responsible for the popularity that the show had when it was first released. The build-up pays off after spending the first 2 arcs introducing us to the cast of characters and their own individual motivations. In this arc, we see the introduction of the Vongola rings. The ownership of each ring must be earned by each Vongola guardian to prove themselves worthy to be a successor. The Varia arc begins with episode 34, and without spoiling anything, it is followed up with the future arc, which is my favourite in the series. Many people drop the show or don't really stick around with it until the series changes its tone. Yes, it does rely heavily on gags at the beginning, but it develops into a deeper, more meaningful show once all the character introductions have been made. Not to say that it is not good from the start, it genuinely feels like a different show once the tonal shift occurs. The series incorporates its comedy alongside a darker storyline, and it works very well. I don't think anyone should have to sit through more than 1 episode of a show until they start to enjoy it. If you find any likability from the start of the show, then just rest assured that it develops into a very good battle shonen. At the time of its publication, Hitman Reborn was regularly in the top 5 ranked manga in Weekly Jump. The sales of the manga volumes reflected this, selling over 3 million manga volumes a year between 2008 to 2010. The following chart shows the sales data for Hitman Reborn from 2008 to 2012. We can see how the series gradually declined in sales. Notably, after 2010, the sales dropped below 3 million sales, assuming that the abrupt ending of the anime caused the sales of the manga to drop to 2.5 million copies sold in 2011, then to 1.8 million copies in 2012. With its decline in popularity, Reborn ended in 2012. Despite its abrupt ending, Hitman Reborn is still one of the most popular manga to have ever been published in Weekly Jump magazine. Data from 2016 suggests that the series has sold over 30 million copies cumulatively across its 42 volumes. At the time of its release, Reborn was popular. It had enough demand to warrant being one of the first simulcast anime on Crunchyroll back in March 2009. This popularity began dwindling as the anime came to an end with episode 203 on the 25th of September 2010. The anime may have been cancelled or it may have ended due to catching up with the manga. The manga-only story arcs which follow the conclusion of the anime are the best in the series, notably the Inheritance Ceremony arc. What came as more of a surprise to fans was when the manga was announced to be ending. The final chapters of the manga had felt like they had been rushed, and it suddenly ended on the 12th of November 2012. The ending disappointed some fans, but some had more of an optimistic outlook towards how it ended. The main complaint was that we didn't get a proper conclusion. The story is left open-ended. The series did end with a mix of emotions, but the feeling that there could be more lingers. The way that the anime ended without adapting more of the manga, and the sudden manga conclusion have definitely hurt the popularity of the series. It is a shame as the series features a great storyline, amazing characters, and still more ground which is left to cover. If Reborn did return one day, I am certain that many would pick it back up. Speaking about a series which had its anime concluding in 2010 and the manga ending in 2012, it is no surprise that it is slept on. Reborn isn't discussed much now, and it lacks the same level of appreciation that other series which shared its level of success experience. Most of the discussions about the series are from years ago, which are discussing the latest episode and manga chapter releases. Unless you got into the series through these discussions, there is not much to remind you of this shonen series. Hitman Reborn has a lot of nostalgia for me, as it's one of the first anime that I watched. The series has an amazing art style, lovable characters, and incredible music which complements the show so well. Tsuna Tsuna's life is changed by Reborn, and it was fun watching Tsuna grow and form strong friendships throughout the series. You may not have heard about Reborn up until now, and if this video has convinced you to check out Hitman Reborn, then I'm definitely glad. Discotek Media recently released a standard definition Blu-ray compilation of the Hitman Reborn anime, and it has also been available to watch on Crunchyroll for several years. So go and watch Hitman Reborn like your life depends on it.